What's going on, YouTube? See, it's a lot going on out here in this trucking world. It's a lot going on. I'm currently loaded right now. I got my load sitting over there on the yard, waiting to deliver tomorrow. And then back to the house. I deliver up in Kentucky tomorrow. You know, little light load, something light, man. Keep the pockets going. Since my favorite Lease driver is missing, I thought I'd drop a video today just checking on him, just checking on him. He told us he had an empty trailer he had picked up in Vegas. No, he didn't show us the trailer. He said he was heading to California. Josh, you should be in California getting loaded. I want to see the load, Josh. I want to see the load, and I want to see you connected to a trailer. Yeah. I don't want to see you bobtailing down the road, because you could just be going from Petro to the TA. Nah, you can't get over on me, Josh. I want to see the trailer. I want to see your truck, that Volvo, connected to a trailer. When I see that, then I'll be like, okay, they still in business. He can probably get a load come Monday. I don't think you're loaded, Josh. I think you gone missing. I think you missing right now, Joe. Where the load at? Where the load at? Where the load at, Josh? You sure took off without getting that new lease agreement. I noticed you wasn't too concerned about that lease agreement, but you want to own the truck. You want to own the truck, but you don't want to get the lease agreement. I understand, Josh. 2028, don't expect the title. Don't expect the title, Josh. If you don't, we already told you, you need a new lease agreement, but you don't want to get no new lease agreement. You talking about it's going to be all right, he going to send it 10 years from now. All right, Josh. You just make sure you keep making payments. You got to learn the hard way. But I know eventually, Josh, you're going to come around. You like Andrew advice, don't you? Yeah, I know you want to get your own trailer. You're tired of paying all them payments on. It's about time. Tired of paying. Hey, Josh, look. Josh, you got so many lease drivers out here being fooled. I was on SoCal Channel earlier this morning. You got people over at Hurricane Express paying $50 a week for the microwave fund. Why y'all didn't tell me Hurricane Express was busting y'all upside the head for $50 a week for the microwave fund? What's up with that? What's up with that? How are y'all making payments as a lease driver on the microwave? I mean, when did they start that? And why, as lease drivers over at Hurricane, are you guys taking home $1,000 a week, $700 a week, $500 a week? And y'all still driving a truck? I know it's not just Hurricane is doing this. I'm pretty sure it's thousands upon thousands of different carriers out there got these lease drivers running freight. And you guys, when you get your check, it's $1,000, $700, $500, $16, all this nonsense. Everybody's getting rich off the truck driver except the trucker that's doing all the work. You guys got to understand, $1,000 a week, at $1,000 a week, you don't make enough money to afford an apartment and a car note. The average car note in the United States is about $700. The average apartment is probably about, let's say, $1,500. You throw in a girlfriend into that equation, and you out of there. You throw in kids, you out of there. You throw a wife in, you out of there. You're going to be paying child support, alimony, and Tyrone going to be running everything. Guys, if you're making $1,000 a week, you wasting your time on the road. You might as well just be a local driver. Makes no sense to be an OTR driver making $1,000 a week, unless there are some exceptions. One exception: you just got into trucking. You brand new to trucking. You at somebody's training program. You got less than 6 months of experience. Those are the people that should be making $1,000 a week. The people that's brand new to trucking. And that's only if they're a company driver. If you brand new, fresh CDL, but they didn't toss you in the lease purchase program, or the lease program, the rental program, no credit down program, no money in the bank account program, you know, they go by a lot of different names, so I be having to break it down because, you know, one driver said, "Hey, Andrew, it's not a lease, or it's not a lease purchase, it's just a lease." So I gotta go through all the titles, the owner-operator program. You in one of them programs right there on day one, fresh CDL, understand the minimum they should be paying you is $2,000 a week. That's the minimum. That's the floor. Anything below that, you just working for free. You working for free. Anything below that, you need to be a company driver. You need to be a company driver. How much should a company driver be making that's got more than 6 months of experience? I would say the floor should be $1,500, but on average, a company driver should get $2,000, especially OTR, especially if y'all doing any type of flatbed, step deck, any of that strap, gold chain, all that work, all that's over $2,000. Drive-in, reefer, $1,500 to $2,000. If you're a lease driver, the floor is $2,000. You should be at $2,000 to $4,000. Owner operator with his own truck, that's going to depend on, you know, whatever carrier you go to, depends on your deductions and stuff. I would say $3,000 all the way up to about $6,000 plus. And a motor carrier, that could be anything from $0 all the way up to, you know, what night transportation you got, $4 billion. Motor carrier goes, it's a lot different. Motor carrier, you can add drivers on, you can grow a trucking company, different. That's different. People ain't motor carriers out here. Most of y'all lease drivers, company drivers. So how do you get in those brackets? If you ain't, hey Andrew, wait a minute, I'm a company driver, I'm not making $2,000. Every day you need to be on that phone trying to figure out who's gonna pay you $2,000. While you driving that truck. Yeah, while you driving that truck, you need to be figuring it out. Hey, somebody out there paying it. Well, Andrew, we in bad times. That ain't got nothing to do with you. Yeah, the economy being in bad times, trucking being in bad times, you a company driver. You need to focus on what they paying you. Let Mr. Charlie, that's the point of being a company driver. Mr. Charlie is supposed to worry about how bad the economy is and bad times and all that. You supposed to be there to do your little job and get your $2,000 plus dollars. You's a company driver. You ain't responsible for all that headache. You ain't responsible for that. Mr. Charlie ran up $21 million in debt. They try and get P&S to buy him out. P&S say, hey, we ain't buying you out, so now they close up shop. 600 drivers lost their job. That ain't your responsibility. You there for a check. Short time, not a long time. Ain't nobody at no trucking company for a long time. Everything is short time. You just there for a little bit. You understand as a truck driver, your job could end any day. Therefore, you need to always be, the day you wake up, hey, today may be my last day. Mr. Charlie may not be feeling me today. He might let me go. But guess what though? As long as you keep that mindset, you'll be prepared to go when it happens. Oh, what's that? The fuel card ain't working? No problem. I'm not worrying about the fuel card. I just leave the truck right there at the gas station, right there at the truck stop. Uber on to the airport, I'm gone. We gotta stop getting taken advantage of in this trucking world. You know, I don't feel like any company drivers are being taken advantage of. It's mostly just lease drivers. I would say about 99% of the people that are being taken advantage of are lease drivers. Not all lease drivers, but majority of them are. I ain't really heard of a company driver getting taken advantage of probably my whole career. Not that I can recall. No, I can't recall. I can't recall no company drivers getting taken advantage of. No. I think when you guys are leasing a truck, you should not focus on getting the title, this truck gonna be mine. Especially if it's a brand new truck. If you are driving an older truck that has 500 plus thousand miles on it, it's a short-term lease purchase, you know, maybe you in, let's say, I don't even want to put no date on it. If you leasing something that's a year, maybe a 1 year lease or under, maybe you can stick with it. The lease I did was 4 months. I did a 4-month lease. I completed it and got the title. I'm one of the few lease purchase people that didn't finish the lease and got the title. And I don't recommend leasing at all. I didn't recommend it when I did it, and I don't recommend it now, and I got the title. But I'm the 1%. That was one of the most easiest leases you could ever do. Like I said, it was a 4-month lease. $1,500 a month. So, but is that everybody's situation? No. Too many options are available for truck drivers to where the truck driver has more control. You want to lease a truck, man, go hang out at Long Mountain. Go hang out at Long Mountain. At least when you take a Long Mountain truck and lease it on or wherever they allow you to lease it on to, if the company got too many deductions or they talking about freight slow or the rates down, you can drop that company, go on to the next. That's the type of position you guys need to be on. You need to be in a position to where, if the company falling apart, they sitting over here paying you $700, $1,000, y'all need to be able to pack it up and be gone. Use a truck driver. We don't make that kind of money. $700. Well, did you just get your CDL? No, that's unacceptable for somebody that just got a CDL. If you just got a CDL, $1,000. $1,000. That's what you need to be making. $1,000. Now I'm talking about net. After taxes. $1,000 in your pocket. It ain't nothing below that. Now I understand you brand new to trucking. You may not be getting $1,000. You're at one of these companies that's taking advantage of the brand new people, paying them $500 a week and that type of nonsense. Well, Andrew, what should I do? At the 3-month mark, you can usually start looking. Start looking at companies that'll pay you more money. I know at the 6-month mark you can, but I think at the 3-month mark, you got some carriers some companies, some mega carriers that you make a switch to that'll give you that $1,000 a week. Don't be out here getting taken advantage of. Not in this economy. Not in this economy. I know you didn't. You came in a truck driver to make some money. You ain't coming here to get McDonald's money. You could have just stayed at McDonald's. You could have stayed over at Walmart. Once you get in the trucking, you pretty much stuck here. You stuck here. When you get inside that semi truck and become an OTR truck driver, for the next 10 to 20 years, you're going to be thinking about, after you do about 5 years in that truck, how can I get out this truck? How can I get out this truck? How can I get out this truck? So it's very important in the beginning, before you get to thinking that you don't get taken advantage of in the very beginning. Get your money in the beginning. So when that thought do come, and you start to realize, man, I can't make this money nowhere else, man. I'm kind of stuck in this trucking. Then 10, 20 years go down the road, you finally, man, you like, man, dang, I got to get off this truck, man. I'm tired of driving, man. And then you realize you need a house or an apartment. Tell him, man, when you become an OTR truck driver, for majority of people, you stuck in that truck until you figure out a way out. You, by yourself. Ain't nobody, everybody else gonna be gone. Girlfriend gone, wife gone, kids gone, Tyrone got them. You still in that truck because they ain't no way out. They ain't no, you can't go back to McDonald's. McDonald's, they ain't hiring. I know you came from McDonald's, they ain't hiring. Just like I can't go back to FedEx. They got robots down, they ain't hiring. Oh, you came from Walmart, they got a 3-year hiring freeze. You can't go back to them. Oh, Amazon? You came from Amazon? Oh, no, they not hiring. No, they not. Amazon ain't. They just laid out 40,000 people. They not hiring. So what you going back to? There ain't nothing to go back to. So you stuck. You stuck. The only way out If you find a local job, that's somewhat of a way out. You ain't out of trucking, but you kind of can relieve yourself because you ain't stuck in a sleeper. You can get out. Another way out is if you some kind of way develop passive income while inside the truck. The passive income can give you more free time. Another way out is, of course, you get your own truck, then you got more control over your life, and you can kind of take home time whenever, especially when the truck paid off. And of course, if you got your own authority, then you just do what you want at that point. That's what I got. I got my own authority, so that's how I found my way out. But it kind of make you lazy. Well, it make me lazy. I don't know about everybody else. I got my authority, boy. I'm scared to get back in the truck. I'm like, damn. I was supposed to get this authority to make more money. I got the authority and escape trucking. Shoot, boy. That was my way out of trucking right there, boy. Get my own authority. Shoot, man. Now I drive that truck whenever I feel like it, fool. Never I feel like driving that truck, I drive it. Shit, I wish I would be stuck in a truck with no goals. Yeah. But another way out is, of course, if you develop another skill or something, you can use the trucking money to perhaps go to school, go to trade school, maybe open up some type of business. Maybe you open up some type of barbershop, nail salon back at the house, and you funding it with the trucking money, or you funding real estate. Or it's ways out, but you got to have a goal. You got to have a goal to do all that. You got to be learning while you're in the truck. Otherwise, I'm trying to tell you, you're going to be stuck in that truck. And I talked to Justin Lewis about this. When we first started driving a truck, we had absolutely no idea that when we got in that truck, we was going to be stuck there. Nobody could tell me I was going to be driving a truck 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. I'm finna be 11 years in this thing. Come April make 11 years. I didn't think I was gonna be in trucking in 11 years. That wasn't part of the plan. There was no plan. There was no plan for a lot of y'all. You ain't no plan, ain't no goals, but you can get some goals and you can get a plan. But you can't come up with a plan making $1,000 a week on a lease purchase, or a lease, or a rental, or a borrow, or no credit, bad credit, no money down. Ain't no plan with that. Ain't no plan with that. Once you take out per diem, file some taxes, you're making what, $1,000 a week, $40,000 a year, take $20,000 for per diem. You left with like $20,000. You damn near qualify for the SNAP program. You ain't made no money. You either made the same or worse than the job you came from before trucking. At $1,000 a week. Per diem is like $80 a day. Y'all gotta figure all that stuff out, man. Y'all gotta figure out how y'all can. I'm just here to alert. I'm just the guy to alert. Wake you up a little bit in case nobody told you. In case nobody told. I'm just here to get your mind thinking. Just get your mind thinking. But Josh, yeah, I need that update, Josh, man. Don't think you just gonna disappear. Josh, you can't fool me, Josh. Just because you had a phone call, Josh, and you claim it was your dispatcher, Franco, I ain't heard nobody on that phone, Josh. It ain't like you put it on speakerphone. I understand the thumbnail shows a trailer, but you ain't actually came on a live feed showing no trailer. So nah, Josh, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. You could be going to California turning trucking in. Or better yet, you probably spent the whole weekend in Vegas. Which one is it, Josh? Which one is it, Josh? Yeah. I need a live feed, man. I need a 1 hour live feed. You just, matter of fact, do a 1 hour plus live feed. I want to see you just going down the road an hour for an hour plus. Then I may think you got a load. But nah, I'm not convinced, Josh. I'm not convinced. Not saying you can't get a load. First of all, I ain't seen TSC on your dough. So I don't know what carrier on the dough anyway. Yeah, Josh. But like I tell you, Josh, if you want to guarantee that you can actually own a truck the way you going about it, that's the worst way. You ain't got no lease agreement. You ain't gonna get a lease agreement. And more than likely, you're gonna lose the truck. But I'm gonna go ahead and tell you again. You got Arrow truck sales, Long Mountain, you got the auction, you can pay some cash. See, all those ways you can control what's going on. All those, you full control. But what you got going on, ain't no control. Ain't no control, Josh. But we wish y'all the best of luck, Josh. I'm still over here thinking about this challenge. We may or may not do, Josh. We gonna see. Gonna get this little challenge going. Andrew, try to get the house. Josh, try to pay off the truck. I don't know, Josh. I think it's a good challenge. Prowler Meals, you guys outwork me nowadays, man. I don't drive a truck like that. I don't know if I can get out there, Josh, and do 4,000 to 5,000 miles every week for a year straight. I don't know, Josh. I have to think about it. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video for now. Comment, like, subscribe, and y'all let me know what you think. Is Josh loaded or is he not loaded?